Question 1. How can drinking alcohol affect your ability to drive? A. Your ability to judge speed will be reduced. Alcohol will severely reduce your ability to drive or ride safely, and there are serious consequences if you're caught over the drink-drive limit. It's known that alcohol can affect your judgment, cause overconfidence, reduce coordination and control. If you want to pass dvsa theory test in first time, you can download our EOS app. App contains 2500 dvsa test questions, 250 hazard perception videos, 630 traffic road signs and 300 highway code rules. Even 98.50% people pass their test first time after using our app. You can find link in the description. Download app for free from App Store, which contains latest 2024 material licensed by dvsa authority. Get 3 days free trial for a limited time. Let's get back to the video. Question 2. What's the purpose of triangular-shaped signs? D. To give warnings. Triangular signs warns you of hazards ahead. Make sure you look at each sign that you pass on the road so that you don't miss any vital instructions or information. Question 3. Which lights should you switch on when daytime visibility is poor but not seriously reduced? A. Dipped headlights. Only use your fog lights when visibility is seriously reduced. Use dipped headlights in poor conditions because this helps other road users to see you without the risk of causing dazzle. Question 4. What does this sign mean? C. No parking on the days and times shown. Urban clearways are provided to keep traffic flowing at busy times. You may stop only briefly to set down or pick up passengers. Times of operation will vary from place to place, so always check the signs. Question 5. When may front fog lights be used? D. When visibility is seriously reduced. Your fog lights must only be used when visibility is reduced to 100 meters, 328 feet or less. You need to be familiar with the layout of your dashboard so you're aware if your fog lights have been switched on in error or you've forgotten to switch them off. Question 6. You're driving past a line of parked cars. What should you do if a ball bounces out into the road ahead? C. Slow down and be prepared to stop for children. Beware of children playing in the street and running out into the road. If a ball bounces out from the pavement, slow down and be prepared to stop. Don't encourage anyone to retrieve it. Other road users may not see your signal, and you might lead a child into a dangerous situation. Question 7. You're at the front of a queue of traffic waiting to turn right into a side road. Why is it important to check your right mirror just before turning? B. To check for overtaking vehicles. A motorcyclist could be riding along the outside of the queue. Always check your mirror before turning, as situations behind you can change while you've been waiting to turn. Question 8. When would you use an emergency refuge area on a smart motorway? B. In cases of emergency or breakdown. On smart motorways, emergency refuge areas are built at the side of the hard shoulder. If you break down, try to get your vehicle into the refuge, where there's an emergency telephone. The phone connects directly to a control center. Remember to take care when rejoining the motorway, especially if the hard shoulder is being used as a running lane. Question 9. When are you not allowed to sound your vehicle's horn? D. Between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m. in a built-up area. Every effort must be made to prevent excessive noise, especially in built-up areas at night. Don't rev your engine or sound the horn unnecessarily. It's illegal to sound your horn in a built-up area between 11:30 p.m. and 7 a.m., except when another road user poses a danger. Question 10. What shape is a stop sign? D. To make it easy to recognize, the stop sign is the only sign of this shape. You must stop and take effective observation before proceeding. Question 11. What does the white line along the side of the road indicate? D. The edge of the carriageway. A continuous white line is used on many roads to indicate the edge of the carriageway. This can be useful when visibility is restricted. The line is discontinued at junctions, lay-bys, and entrances to or exits from private drives. Question 12. You're driving in town. Why should you be careful if there's a bus at a bus stop on the other side of the road? A. Pedestrians might come from behind the bus. If you see a bus ahead, watch out for pedestrians. They might not be able to see you if they're behind the bus. Question 13. What will happen if you use rear fog lights in good conditions? A. They'll dazzle other drivers. Rear fog lights shine more brightly than normal rear lights, so that they show up in reduced visibility. When the visibility improves, you must switch them off. This stops them dazzling the driver behind. Question 14. You want to reverse into a side road. What should you do if you aren't sure that the area behind your car is clear? C. Get out and check. If you can't tell whether there's anything behind you, it's always safest to check before reversing. There may be a small child or a low obstruction close behind your car. Question 15. What lights should you use when you're driving on a wet motorway and vehicles are throwing up surface spray? A. Dipped headlights. When surface spray reduces visibility, switch on your headlights on dipped beam. This will help other road users to see you. Question 16. What should you do when you're following a learner driver who stalls at a junction? A. Be patient, as you expect them to make mistakes. Learning to drive is a process of practice and experience. Try to understand this and tolerate those who make mistakes while they're learning. Question 17. What does this sign mean? D. With flow cycle lane. Usually, a picture of a cycle will also be painted on the road, and sometimes the lane will have a different colored surface. Leave these areas clear for cyclists and don't pass too closely when you overtake. Question 18. What's most likely to distract you while you're driving? A. Using a mobile phone. Except for emergencies, it's illegal to use a handheld mobile phone while you are driving. Even using a hands-free kit can severely distract your attention. Question 19. On a road where trams operate, which vehicles will be most at risk from the tram rails? C. Cycles. The narrow wheels of a bicycle can become stuck in the tram rails, causing the cyclist to stop suddenly, wobble or even lose balance altogether. The tram lines are also slippery, which could cause a cyclist to slide or fall off. Question 20. You're approaching an unmarked crossroads. How should you deal with the junction? D. Slow down and look both ways. Be cautious, especially when your view is restricted by hedges, bushes, walls, large vehicles, etc. In the summer months, these junctions can become more difficult to deal with because growing foliage may further obscure your view. Question 21. What should you do if you are towing a trailer and it starts to swing from side to side? C. Ease off the accelerator to reduce your speed. Strong winds or buffeting from large vehicles can cause a trailer or caravan to swing from side to side, snake. If this happens, ease off the accelerator. Don't brake harshly, steer sharply or increase your speed. Question 22. What does this sign mean? B. Cycle route ahead. More people are cycling today, and cycle routes are being extended in our towns and cities to provide safe cycling routes. Respect the presence of cyclists on the road and give them plenty of room if you need to pass. Question 23. You're on a motorway. What must you do if there's a red cross showing above every lane? D. Stop and wait. A red cross signal above all lanes mean you must stop and wait. Don't change lanes and don't try to continue any further along the motorway. Question 24. What should you do when you park a car facing downhill? D. Turn the steering wheel towards the curb. Turning the wheels towards the curb will allow them to act as a chock, preventing any forward movement of the vehicle. It will also help to leave your car in gear, or select park if you have an automatic. Question 25. You arrive at the scene of a motorcycle crash. The rider is injured. When should their helmet be removed? C. Only when it's essential. Don't remove a motorcyclist's helmet unless it's essential. Remember, they may be suffering from shock. Don't give them anything to eat or drink, but do reassure them confidently. Question 26. Following a collision, a person has been injured. What would be a warning sign for shock? B. Rapid shallow breathing. The effects of shock may not be immediately obvious. Warning signs to look for include a rapid pulse, sweating, pale gray skin, rapid shallow breathing. Question 27. You're on a smart motorway. What does it mean when a mandatory speed limit is displayed above the hard shoulder? A. The hard shoulder can be used as a running lane. A mandatory speed limit sign above the hard shoulder shows that this part of the road can be used as a running lane between junctions. You must stay within the speed limit. Look out for vehicles that may have broken down and could be blocking the hard shoulder. Question 28. How much more fuel will you use by driving at 70 miles per hour compared with driving at 50 miles per hour? B. About 15%. Your vehicle will use less fuel if you avoid heavy acceleration. The higher the engine revs, the more fuel you use. Using the same gear and covering the same distance, a vehicle traveling at 70 miles per hour will use about 15% more fuel than it would at 50 miles per hour. However, don't travel so slowly that you inconvenience or endanger other road users. Question 29. What will be a serious distraction while you are driving? A. Looking at road maps. Looking at road maps while driving is very dangerous. If you aren't sure of your route, stop in a safe place and check the map. You must not allow anything to take your attention away from the road while you are driving. Question 30. When are you allowed to stop on a motorway? D. When you're signaled to do so by traffic signals. You must stop if overhead gantry signs show red cross above every lane on the motorway. If any of the other lanes doesn't show red cross, you may move into that lane and continue if it's safe to do so. Question 31. What can be damaged if you turn the steering wheel when the car isn't moving? D. The tires. Turning the steering wheel when the car isn't moving is known as dry steering. It can cause unnecessary wear to the tires and steering mechanism. Question 32. Why is a token crossing different from other crossings? A. Cyclists can use it. Token crossings are shared by pedestrians and cyclists, who are permitted to cycle across. They're shown the green light together. The signals are push-button operated, and there's no flashing amber phase. Question 33. When should you check the engine oil level? A. Before a long journey. An engine can use more oil during long journeys than on shorter trips. Insufficient engine oil is potentially dangerous. It can lead to excessive wear, mechanical breakdown and expensive repairs. Most cars have a dipstick to allow the oil level to be checked. If not, you should refer to the vehicle handbook. Question 34. You're waiting to emerge from a junction. The windscreen pillar is restricting your view. What should you be particularly aware of? D. Motorcyclists. Windscreen pillars can completely block your view of pedestrians, motorcyclists and cyclists. You should make a particular effort to look for these road users, don't just rely on a quick glance. Question 35. What should you do when you're overtaking a horse and rider? C. Go past slowly and carefully. Horses can be startled by the sound of a car engine or the rush of air caused by a vehicle passing too closely. Keep well back and only pass when it's safe. Leave them plenty of room, you may have to use the other side of the road to go past safely. Question 36. Why should you be cautious when going past this bus waiting at a bus stop? A. People may cross the road in front of it. A bus at a bus stop can hide pedestrians who might try to cross the road just in front of it. Drive at a speed that will enable you to respond safely if you have to. Question 37. What do the long white lines along the center of the road mean? C. Hazard warning. The center of the road is usually marked by a broken white line, with lines that are shorter than the gaps. When the lines become longer than the gaps, this is a hazard warning line. Look well ahead for these, especially when you're planning to overtake or turn off. Question 38. There are no speed limit signs on the road. How is a 30 miles per hour limit generally indicated? D. By street lighting. There's a 30 miles per hour speed limit where there are street lights unless signs show another limit. Question 39. What does this sign mean? B. Contraflow bus lane. There will also be markings on the road surface to indicate the bus lane. You mustn't use this lane for parking or overtaking. Question 40. What does this sign mean? A. End of dual carriageway. Don't wait until the last moment before moving into the left-hand lane. Plan ahead and don't rely on other traffic letting you in. Question 41. Which color follows the green signal at a puffin crossing? C. Steady amber. Puffin crossings have infrared sensors that detect when pedestrians are crossing and hold the red traffic signal until the crossing is clear. The use of a sensor means there's no flashing amber phase, as there is with a pelican crossing. Question 42. What's the national speed limit for cars and motorcycles on a dual carriageway? D. 70 miles per hour. Make sure that you know the speed limit for the road that you're on. The speed limit on a dual carriageway or motorway is 70 miles per hour for cars and motorcycles, unless signs indicate otherwise. The speed limits for different types of vehicle are listed in the Highway Code. Question 43. You're leaving a safe gap as you follow a large vehicle. What should you do if a car moves into this gap? A. Drop back further. Sometimes your separation distance is shortened by a driver moving into the gap you've allowed. When this happens, react positively, stay calm and drop further back to re-establish a safe following distance. Question 44. What does this sign mean? B. A route for pedestrians and cyclists. This sign shows a shared route for pedestrians and cyclists. When it ends, the cyclists will be rejoining the main road. 5. What should you do when you see an older person about to cross the road ahead? A. Be careful, they may misjudge your speed. Older people may have impaired hearing, vision, concentration and judgment. They may also walk slowly, and so could take a long time to cross the road. Question 46. What should you do if you can't see clearly behind when you're reversing? A. Ask someone to guide you. If you want to turn your car around, try to find a place where you have good all-round vision. If this isn't possible, and you're unable to see clearly, then get someone to guide you. Question 47. How should you overtake horse riders? A. Drive slowly and leave plenty of room. When you decide to overtake a horse rider, make sure you can do so safely before you move out. Leave them plenty of room and pass slowly. Passing too close could startle the horse and unseat the rider. Question 48. How can you identify traffic signs that give orders? A. They're circular with a red border. There are three basic types of traffic sign: those that warn, those that inform and those that give orders. Generally, triangular signs warn, rectangular signs give information or directions, and circular signs give orders. An exception is the 8-sided stop sign. Question 49. What should you do when you meet an oncoming vehicle on a single-track road? C. Stop at a passing place. Take care when using single-track roads. It can be difficult to see around bends because of hedges or fences, so expect to meet oncoming vehicles. Drive carefully and be ready to pull into or stop opposite a passing place where you can pass each other safely. Question 50. An injured person has been placed in the recovery position. They're unconscious but breathing normally. What else should be done? A. Check the airway remains open. After a casualty has been placed in the recovery position, make sure the airway remains open and monitor their condition until medical help arrives. Where possible, don't move a casualty unless there's further danger. If you want to pass dvsa theory test in first time, you can download our EOS app. App contains 2500 dvsa test questions, 250 hazard perception videos, 630 traffic road signs and 300 highway code rules. Even 98.50% people pass their test first time after using our app. You can find link in the description. Download app for free from App Store, which contains latest 2024 material licensed by dvsa authority. Get 3 days free trial for a limited time.